How do you have democratic international institutions that are also effective at the same time? And then how do you apply those apples to oranges when you're talking about a world of systems change in which non-polities, non-political entities like NGOs and corporations are involved in this mix? You can accuse NGOs of not being democratic all you want, but that's not what they are. They're not political units after all, right? There are many forms of accountability that they face and that corporations face. Reputational accountability, financial accountability, peer accountability. The force of shame, which I write about a lot actually in this book, shame and peer pressure, have been responsible for quite a few norm shifts. Most recently, certainly the rise of the corporate citizenship movement, for example, can be partially attributed to the power of shame. There are many ways in which actors can be held accountable. The highest principle in governance, whether it's domestically or internationally, is not democracy, it's accountability. There are many ways to achieve accountability, and it's a combination of these ways, including democratic elections where you can have them, will result in better accountability. But at the international level, we have to be more creative. We have to think about, in a public-private partnership, in a multi-actor setting, how do you have mutual monitoring? How do you have and mutual monitoring really stems from a deep suspicion, really. This is not a book about how everyone should all just get along for our common, towards our common goals. I'm not utopian at all. This derives from a very, very deep suspicion. A suspicion of the notion that states will always see the best interest in the public welfare, because they don't, not even here, and not in many parts of the world. Very few governments really deserve that kind to be praised with that stereotype. And not all corporations are focused only on the bottom line and on the race to the bottom and on extracting maximum value from minimum expense. That's not true either. Not all NGOs are just hapless do-gooders who aren't resourced and don't know what they're doing. Not at all true at all, right? It's a deep mutual suspicion among these actors that I believe will lead to this model of mutual oversight, of mutual accountability. And it will take many different kinds of shapes and forms. There isn't one perfect model for it. But if we open our imagination to a mega diplomacy of mutual accountability, we will have a much more realistic, accurate picture of what's happening in the world, and it'll probably get us one step closer to the better kind of management of the world, to a better way to run the world.